In line with designating Nigeria as a country of particular concern by the United States of America under the leadership of Donald Trump over Christian genocide in Nigeria, Donald Trump recently stated that Nigeria must abolish Sharia law if its law is used to persecute Christians. The remarks were met with outrage in some quarters, while others are in support, and confusion in many. But Sharia in northern Nigeria isn't just a legal system, it's a cultural, religious, and political identity. Following Trump's comments, multiple congressmen, both Republicans and Democrats, and human rights advocates weigh into it. Some lawmakers argue that Nigeria should remain a strategic partner, but with stronger conditions, which is better human rights monitoring, reviews of Sharia enforcement, and accountability for state-backed religious police known as Hisbah. Others urged Congress to investigate whether Sharia criminal courts were violating Nigeria's constitutionally guaranteed religious freedom. Think tank analysts and NGO witnesses testified in private briefings, saying that the US must pressure Nigeria to reform the Sharia criminal system, protect minorities, and address the Almajiri humanitarian crisis fueling instability in the north. Suddenly, an internal debate became an international concern. What exactly is Sharia in Nigeria? To understand the controversy, we must understand the history. Sharia didn't start in 1999. It has its roots stretching back to the 18th centuries under the Sokoto Caliphate. Islamic law defined governance, education, trade, justice, social life across the northern Nigeria. When British colonial rule arrived, they kept part of the system but replaced criminal punishment with secular courts. But everything changed in 1999 when Nigeria returned to democracy. The new political freedom saw northern governors reintroduce Sharia, not only for marriage and inheritance, but also for criminal offenses. Zamfara State was the first state in Nigeria to introduce Sharia law during the tenure of Ahmad Sani Yerima, the former governor of Zamfara State. Then Kano, Sokoto, Katsina, Bauchi, Jigawa, Kebbi, Yobe, Borno, Gombe, Niger, and Kaduna followed suit. 12 states, each with different levels of enforcement, but all with Sharia as part of their legal identity. Please, before we continue, I want to make a compassionate appeal. 96.3% of my YouTube analytics shows that people that watch these channels are not subscribed to it. Only 3.7% of people that watch these channels are subscribed to it. Please subscribe to this channel. It helps the algorithm to push the video further. Let's proceed. Over the years, Sharia enforcement has led to global outcry, not just from Western governments, but from Nigerian activists, women's groups, and civil rights lawyers. Some cases shook the world. An example of such case was a case of Amina Lawa Kurami in Katsina in 2002, who was sentenced to death by stoning for adultery after having a child out of wedlock. Lawa was sentenced by an Islamic Sharia court in Funtua in the northern state of Katsina in Nigeria on 22nd of March 2002. Her appeal succeeded. Another victim of such was Safia Hussaini from Sokoto in 2001 October. She was a divorced Nigerian woman from Tongadudu village in Sokoto state, and she was sentenced to death by stoning for adultery by a Sharia court. It was overturned by an appeal court. While Sharia court officially applies only to Muslims, there have been incidents where Christians living in Sharia states faced harassment by Hisbah police, forced arrest, intimidation for dress codes or alcohol use, and mob actions justified under Sharia morality rules. An example of such was the mob action against Deborah Samuel in Sokoto State, who was killed and burnt alive by mobs. These cases are part of what Trump and the US lawmakers point to when demanding reform. Sharia enforcement doesn't rely only on courts, it relies on Hisbah, a religious police empowered in several states in the northern part of Nigeria. They patrol markets, they shut down bars, they arrest couples, they destroy alcohol, they enforce dress codes. Critics say Hisbah often operates outside Nigeria's federal constitution because Nigeria is a secular state, running parallel to the national police. Supporters say the institution protects Islamic values and keeps society moral. But the clash between Hisbah and Nigeria's secular identity is one of the reasons global attention is rising. Now we turn to one of the deepest humanitarian issues in northern Nigeria discussed by the US Congress in America, the Almajiri system. Millions of boys, some as young as 5, are sent by families to study the Quran under traditional teachers. In the past, these schools produced scholars, judges, and leaders. But today, lack of government support has turned many Almajiri children into street beggars, living without food, healthcare, or formal education. Some sleep under bridges, some are exploited for labor, some fall into the hands of criminal gangs and extremists. The overlap between Sharia states, Hisbah enforcement, and the failing Almajiri system is no coincidence. Where formal schooling is weak and religious enforcement is strong, children fall through the cracks. Human rights groups say hundreds of thousands are at risk of radicalization. So, in this context, how does Sharia connect to the Almajiri system? 1. Quranic schools fill the education gap. In Sharia states, Islamic education is prioritized without government-funded alternatives. Poor families choose Almajiri schools, often unregulated and underfunded. 2. Hisbah controls social behavior but not child welfare. While Hisbah arrests adults for immorality, they often lack the mandate or resources to protect Almajiri children from abuse or exploitation. Number 3. Political use of Sharia overshadows social reforms. Politicians campaign on Sharia enforcement, not on fixing education. So the Almajiri crisis continues, generation after generation. Fixing the Almajiri system is not impossible. Did you know former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, during his tenure, built and reformed close to 200 schools across Nigeria to tackle Almajiri, spending close to 15 billion naira to achieve that? Jonathan was genuinely determined to change this problem. His administration developed a viable, well-structured policy that could have transformed the Almajiri crisis for an entire generation. But we all know what happened in 2015. The rest is history. Today, most of these schools are no longer functional. Experts, NGOs, religious leaders, and even former northern governors agree on the same set of solutions. Here are the top reforms Nigeria needs at this moment to solve the Almajiri issue. 1. Integrate Quranic schools into modern education. Give children both religious learning and maths English, science, and vocational training. 2. Pay and train Quranic teachers. When teachers depend on children's begging, the system collapses. Pay them like public school educators. Number 3. Ban forced child begging, not by punishing children, but by providing shelters, meals, and schools. Number 4. State and federal cooperation. Education is shared responsibility. Without federal funding, states cannot reform the system. Number 5. There should be clear limits on Hisbah powers. Religious enforcement cannot replace constitutional law. Protect all citizens equally, both Muslims and Christians. Number 6. There should be community partnership with imams, pastors, and traditional rulers. Reform must be culturally rooted. Only a combined approach can end the suffering of millions of Almajiri children. So, from Trump's controversial remarks to debate in the US Congress, to the long history of Sharia in northern Nigeria, to the children struggling in the Almajiri system, this story reminds us of something powerful: that policies are important, politics is loud, but the real impact is on ordinary people, families, minorities, and millions of vulnerable children. Nigeria's challenge is not to abolish anyone's religion, but to balance faith, law, and human rights in a diverse nation. If the country can reform the Sharia system, protect religious freedom, and rescue the Almajiri child, then Nigeria will not need outside pressure. It will lead Africa by example. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Until next time, see you. Bye.